The New International Version, second part of Acts 21, verses 20 to 40. I need to gleam over most of this to make it through because I need to comment quite a bit on this. In 17 and 18, Paul, again, that was part of the last one, but he's telling the Jewish Christians, and he's in Jerusalem now, how the Gentiles are all converting, and he's doing great work. Remember, Paul was from the Southeast Asia, modern-day Turkey, the mountains of Taurus, south of it, Cilicia. God used him, and Apostle Paul, extremely smart. He didn't know if it was a dream, Paul, or not, but God taught him, right? So when Paul got to Jerusalem, he's telling them all this, but the Jewish Christians are telling him, hey, there's many Jewish believers. I need to just in summary here. They said that the Jewish Christians, remember that they didn't know, like the Apostle Paul, and it's just coming to Christianity, that they want to keep half the Old Testament. They didn't understand what to throw away or what to keep. The Jewish Christians of the blood related, right? So these Christians are saying, Jewish Christians are saying to Paul, hey, we hear that you're teaching a way to do away with the circumcision. That's the circumcision of the heart. Apostle Paul was smart. No, the flesh means nothing. That's of the heart. You're spiritual Jews. You're spiritual Israelites. Even the physical Jews must become spiritual Israelites. Okay? And they're saying to turn away from Moses, they're hearing, right? And there's no circumcision, right? And the children, and that the physical Israelites, the Jews, they don't need to live according to the custom of the Old Testament. So they're saying they're very mad. They're telling Paul they're very mad. So they're saying here, so take these four men, in other words, a ruse, kind of a lie, just to save Apostle Paul's ass, save his life. You know what I mean? Because so he said, take these four men and do a purification like the Old Testament, to say you're repenting of your sins so they don't kill you. Meaning you haven't taught these things, you know what I mean? Right? And to shave your head and do the ritual to show like you're an Old Testament Jew. Okay? But it didn't matter because and then they said here again, as I said before, as for the Gentiles believers, and even the original apostles that didn't know enough Paul, because they said again here how they wrote to the Gentiles saying, don't eat meat sacrificed to idols. Apostle Paul said that's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. That's the only way they can get it from the markets after it was sacrificed to idols. It's irrelevant. We have nothing to do with idols. Okay, and blood has its own minerals and vitamins. It's irrelevant. It was symbolic of the Old Testament of Christ's blood till Christ came, right? So that's why they say don't eat it. You know what I mean? Because it's symbolic of the life of Christ. You know what I mean? And the ceremony. Anyhow, or meat strangled animals. They were still, even the original apostles, half into the Old Testament. Okay, so Paul, he did all this, okay, just to save his butt, and eventually he was still thrown in prison to save him from the angry crowd. I got no time. Okay, bye.